Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Today, we have multiple updates coming out, and I just want to quickly remind you that if you are not subscribed, right now is the best time to do it. But let's dive right into the news of today. 62 million XRP has been transferred by Coinbase, the crypto behemoth. The largest US-based digital exchange has transferred $38.4 million worth of XRP, but XRP trading has still not been resumed. And that is actually the only reason why this article is so extremely interesting. Whenever Coinbase moves something, you better understand that either they are planning something or it has to do with the custody service that they offer. So for all of you that do not know, Coinbase, you can actually deposit coins on there all the time if you are not a quote-unquote normal consumer. You can, for example, if you let's say have $30 million, actually utilize Coinbase so that they hold the coins for you, so that they are as safe as possible. I've explained previously that out of all exchanges, Coinbase has the highest chance of keeping your money good. Now, one thing that some people point out is that keeping your money on an exchange is basically like saying you bought your groceries, aka the crypto, and then you leave it at the grocery stop. Not completely the same. In terms of safety though, also not completely the same, but I get the analogy basically, where it is not as safe, but then, you know, the higher ranked or the more legit the grocery store is, the higher of a chance your groceries are gonna keep safe, right? And the same thing is there for crypto too. Every grocery store, if you keep your groceries there, has some inherent risk, but the better the store, sometimes, not always, but the majority of the times, the better your money also is laying off there. And the same thing goes for these crypto exchanges. Now, with that said, their custody agreement, that one most likely is a lot easier in terms of safety because, well, most likely they're just properly insured for everything. Because if you're a custodian, all you're doing is holding coins for somebody. You're not operating as a, you know, kind of a new thing, because security exchanges are different than these crypto exchanges. Coinbase has better rules because they've gone public, but still not the most proper rules. But custodians, it doesn't really matter exactly what they custody. Those rules have been in play for a very long time, and I think that's a lot easier. Now, this 62 million XRP is then also not a deposit from a normal person. I mean, it could be just a normal individual, but let me hear me out. It is basically a transfer from one specific wallet, which could have been an exchange, could have been a personal wallet, to Coinbase to safeguard. That's one option. Option number two is that Coinbase is preparing something and so they want to stack up on XRP. Three is somebody actually messed up sending their money to Coinbase even though it wasn't available anymore. And four would most likely just be anything that we didn't just mention. Just any other thing that we cannot think of right now that is going on in the background. But most likely is just option number one, where somebody has a custody account on Coinbase. And since we're talking about millions and millions of dollars, it's definitely possible. And they sent it over there for Coinbase to keep their money safe. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Well, out of every option you could pick, this is the most beautiful one. Why? Well, because if you think about it, Coinbase is not exchanging XRP right now, which basically means if they send money there, you are 99.9% sure that if they're not doing any over-the-counter sales, which theoretically speaking are possible too, but I don't think so since Coinbase doesn't allow that right now. I think theoretically speaking they can make some private contracts on that too, but let's just say that that's not the case because we don't know. We have never gotten the intention or idea that they have. That this is just a deposit from somebody who wants to keep their money safe for the longer term, or just at least cannot be hacked. They just want to keep it safe for certain. And again, 62 million XRP or $40 million. That's a pretty nice little sum. Some people actually pointed out, whenever I talk about these transfers, that people say, oh yeah, but that's just mitigated by the Jed McCaleb sales every single day. Yes and no. The reason I'm saying yes to it is because Jed McCaleb is selling such a huge amount of XRP that any positive impulse is often just easily swiped away by these by the Jed McCaleb negative ones. Then again, the reason I'm saying it's not completely on the same edge is because he's been selling for so many years and there's multiple of these transfers. You saying that any one of these positive transfers doesn't matter is basically the same thing as saying that Jed McCaleb's sales don't matter either, right? If you're saying one, you should also say the other. So either these deposits are a really good thing and Jed McCaleb's selling is either doing nothing or negative, or these sales don't mean anything. But then Jed McCaleb's sales also don't mean anything, right? Because I would say this is a really positive thing. And I've also noticed now that Jed McCaleb's sale pressure doesn't actually influence the price. Then again, I cannot make up the argument that Had he not sold or had he not been here, that the price would be up, for example, 4 cents higher than it is today, right? Theoretically speaking, it's possible that the price would have been a couple of cents higher. I, however, think that an impulse of Jim McKellar being out of coins could be way bigger than had he not had any or just any other scenario. So I think personally that it's going to be nice that he's almost done with those coins, but all right. Then one question I get extremely often is, so July 28th, the SEC has to respond. Has is a big word. They might respond to Senator Warren's letter. Will Ripple be affected? Yes and no. I saw a lot of people get the picture wrong in the comments section where two things are being asked in the letter. Are all cryptos inherently securities, and are all crypto exchanges actually the same as security exchanges? That's literally what she's asking. You can debate all you want, but that's what she's asking. She's not asking any really strange, difficult thing. No, she's basically asking whether or not cryptos and securities are the same and should be treated the same. That's point number 2, I believe, of her letter. If you didn't see it, go read it again, go read it again, and go read it again, because that's exactly what she says. That's her question as she proposes. Some theories, however, have popped up. Well, was it done because Gary Gensler wanted that to be done? Is there some bigger picture to it? Is Warren just a lunatic that has no relevance whatsoever and this letter is going to get ignored? I do not know. Partially because I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm not too involved with U.S. politics, so I'm not sure exactly how important Senator Warren is. And also partially because we don't know how elaborate her bond is with Gary Gensler, nor if these things really happen quite often. All I could say is that the questions themselves are good questions, yet the answer could also decide whether or not it will be effective or whether or not it will be good. I mean, right now, we don't know if the deadline will have any sort of relevance. We don't know if Gary Gensler will even answer. So will it be affected? Well, if they don't reply, no. If they do reply, then it's going to depend. If they say, well, yes, security exchanges and crypto exchanges are the same, securities and cryptos are the same and should be treated the same, well, yes, then it will be affected because there will be a little bit of extra bias towards it. Then again, I would see that bias as a beautiful thing because, well, as it currently stands, all the odds are already stacked against Ripple, and they're already having this lawsuit pinned against them. So a statement from Gensler is not going to make that any worse. It's only going to get other crypto projects maybe to see that this lawsuit versus Ripple is so extremely important and is actually fighting for the rest of the crypto space. Because if you also thought about it, if Gary Gensler says that most cryptos are akin to securities and Ripple wins this lawsuit and it comes out that XRP is not a security, well then the problem is fixed to a certain degree because that basically means not every single crypto is a security and the rules have to be judged by a single case-by-case basis, which I think if Gary Gensler were to reply is also what he would say. Since not all cryptos should have the same type of rules as securities, then again, if they do not say that, then the SEC has no more jurisdiction because they are the Securities and Exchange Commission. And since they want to have the jurisdiction over as much as possible, that's a really difficult battle to follow. But you guys hopefully get the duality right here. Then XRP lawsuit. Ripple reschedules blockbuster deposition of ex-SEC Director William Hinman to this date. Yeah, a lot of people actually did not get my message from earlier, but it is rescheduled as we've covered. Jeremy Hogan actually had a little bit of a response saying the SEC is presupposing what William Hinman's testimony will be and basing its argument on such. Quote, he will testify X, Y, and Z, and we will object and it will be a waste of time. If that argument works, why even take testimony? Trials could just be based on what the lawyers say will be said. To be honest with you, I think this battle is so stupid, and I've said it a couple of times already by now. I think the reply that the SEC just filed didn't really make any sense. In the end, though, I do think that Ripple will just pull through and win this deposition request, and the questions will basically be asked on a the permission will basically be seen on a question per question basis, which basically means the deposition will pull through before or on July 19th, and they will propose a list of questions. The SEC can then look at all those and basically tell the court that they do not want to answer that one, do not want to answer that one, do not want to answer that one, because they think it's privileged, which Ripple would agree with. Why? Because some of these parts can indeed be privileged. If William Hinman was a SEC official and he let go of an opinion, some parts of that opinion should be within his right to never really have to comment about. If you are, for example, the United States president, everything you say about your life's stands and all of that, it's all just, nobody can sue you for that. If you made a really crazy idea and in 10 years, all of a sudden, some people thought, you know what, we want to sue you for that. No, because he was the president, he is exempted. I don't know, not a native English speaker, exempted, I think, from the majority of the statements that he makes. That's to keep politics fair and to make sure that people can speak out for their ideas, even how crazy they are. That, of course, is with margin. If it's, marginalizing to some degree, sometimes these things are taken with a little bit of a more narrower straw, but you guys get the picture, where the majority of things they say is all just privilege that cannot be sued for to keep things fair and square. That was also with, I don't know what example we had recently here in the Netherlands as well, where if you say some type of stuff in politics, well, you can say whatever you want to say because nobody can sue you for it. People might hate you for it, though. That's still possible, like we see with the SEC right now. And then JP Morgan, I just found this kind of peculiar. JP Morgan is confident Grayscale's July unlockings will crash Bitcoin below 25,000. So a Grayscale unlocking is basically a period where 6 months prior, all the people who bought into the Grayscale funds actually have the chance to sell out of their position because it's locked for the first 6 months, I believe, and now they have the choice to cash out. And that's basically called an unlocking. And they've said that a lot of people will unlock for two reasons. One, they've made a ton of profit. And two, because they have seen now that the market has switched over, so they are too afraid to do so. I, however, would like to say, man, don't worry about all of this too much. It's not proven that any of this actually does. Some people have pointed out that it has. I don't really think so, and nor do I really believe in all those things. So I'm just going to sit tight by all those guys that bought into GBTC. So the amount of people who are, all those sales that GBTC could do, they're really small influxes. I mean, or outfluxes, whatever. The amount of people buying into Grayscale, the amount of people buying into MicroStrategy, the amount of people getting just into it in terms of institutional investment, it's so severe that a couple of people selling their positions, it ain't going to really matter. Maybe really short term, it's some extra downwards pressure, but long term, does it really make any difference? Not really, if you were to ask me. So no, I am not worried about that whatsoever. And guys, make sure you check out my Instagram. I have not done too much on there for a couple of years now. I made it in 2018 or maybe even 17, I'm not sure. And I haven't done too much on it, but I'm going to get more active on there. And since my face reveal is going to be coming up soon anyway, I think I should also do a little bit more on this platform. So Instagram link might be down below. It might not be. I'm not sure. But you can always find me, the DustyBC. So yeah, if you wanted that. If you don't want to, you don't have to, all right? But I just wanted to quickly say my Instagram is going to be a little bit more used from now on forward as well, so you might want to check that out. And also, I've been posting a lot more on Twitter, since a lot of you guys said, Dusty, Twitter, lacking. All right, I got to it. Posting a lot more stuff on Twitter over the next couple of weeks, months, I don't know. Just going to try to post as much as I can. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.